My fellow Ambalanders, dear soldiers of the Ambazonian War of Independence, I want to use this opportunity to salute the bravery of our men and women on ground zero for their perseverance and for their great sense of duty. I want to also honor all those who've laid their lives for our country. I want to thank all those who, because of their steadfastness, have been deprived of their liberty. Let me thank our people for their steadfastness, their perseverance, and their great sense of nationalism. My fellow countrymen and women, I will want to use this opportunity to make a couple of reactions to some international issues. First, let me react to the statement made by the U.S. Undersecretary of State, alleging that a mayor was killed in the great state of Manu. No mayor was killed. A collaborator implanted in our homeland to serve the interests of Cameroon, who has facilitated Cameroon's brutality, ensured the institutionalization of Cameroon's policies of occupation, and who has sought desperately to project Cameroon's legitimacy over our country, was taken out. Ambazonia has no elected mayors. It has no elected representatives that should be able to bat on behalf of our people. Let me remind the world, the United States and others, all through the history of the US, France, Great Britain, none of them, not even the French, tolerated the imposition by Adolf Hitler of Pétain, who was a Frenchman, over the French state. How would the United States feel if Canada was to invade the US and cause the installation of people overseeing its political agenda and the prosecution of its war of brutality? Ambazonians have the right under international law to protect their territorial integrity and take out all those put in place by Cameroon to legitimize its presence and to cause pain on Ambazonians. For so long, Cameroon has imposed unelected officials over our country, whose sole mandate has been to facilitate Cameroon's policies of economic extortion, political brutality, and the delegitimization of Ambazonia's right to exercise control over our country. I thank our brave forces of the state of Manu for eliminating that specific threat over that state and over the state of Ambazonia. And this message goes to all those who purport themselves to lord it over Ambazonians, whether as mayors, governors, senators, parliamentarians. Anyone who exercises unconsented authority over Ambazonia to facilitate the policies of occupation will be on our target list. And I send a strong message to all those acting as mayors of Cameroon over our homeland. History will not look kindly on you, your family, and to all those who support your activities. I would also like to take this opportunity to react to Mr. Biya's statement on this day. My fellow people, over 47 years ago, Cameroon imposed a system of unity over our country. As I said I think 2 years ago in Berlin, this concept of national unity coexisted with the exploitation of our natural resources for the benefit of Cameroon. We have, in the past years, buried the concept of national unity manifested in the celebration of the 20th of May. My fellow people, you are a free people, and we will have national days within the calendar year over Ambazonia to reflect the power we have shown the world, to reflect the bravery of our fighters, and to reflect historical realities about our own existence. Never again shall we submit ourselves to the celebration of days that manifest the exploitation of Ambazonia, the impersonification of the brutality of the occupying power. You have acted well, and I want to thank and salute your bravery for rejecting such a day. Let me also talk about the situation of Barrister Shufai in the Kondenge Maximum Security Prison. We are aware that he was whisked off to hospital and has been subjected to brutality by Cameroon military personnel. I want to draw the attention of the international system, the United States, Great Britain, and others, that Cameroon's brutality has no limit. Cameroon's sense of inhumanity is something that the world should not and should never tolerate. And I call on the international system to bring pressure to bear on Yaoundé to set our prisoners of war free and to withdraw from our country. I would also like to react on the statement of the British Member of Parliament and Minister for Africa on the question of our right to exercise control over our homeland. Let the United Kingdom know that they betrayed the trust vested in them, guaranteed by Article 76B of the UN Charter on Trust Territory, to administer Ambazonia to full independence. Let the United Kingdom understand that they transfer sovereignty over our homeland to Cameroon, to Yaoundé, and not to Buea. The minister is right to say that the United Kingdom respects the territorial integrity of Cameroon. We salute the minister for that, because the territorial integrity of Cameroon was acquired by the 1919 Milner-Simon Agreement that set the international border between Cameroon and Ambazonia. And it is within the bounds of those borders that Cameroon gained independence on the 1st of January 1960. And so the minister is right that the United Kingdom should respect the territorial integrity of Cameroon. But that territorial integrity does not extend to the territory of Ambazonia. And we will call on the United Kingdom to look at this carefully and change its policy towards our country. Cameroon's presence in our country has no mandate, either internationally or based on the consent of our people. The right to exercise power over Ambazonia is illegal and should be attacked by any international system or country. My fellow Ambazonians, let me also make a short statement concerning Switzerland's continuous manipulation as far as the Ambazonian question is concerned. We have said repeatedly, the only internationally recognized negotiated process that we will be part of will be one that is multilaterally driven, that involves more than one country, has a mandate through a United Nations General Assembly resolution, that has the commitment of the international system to ensure the validity of the process through its concrete, well-defined participation, and with an insurance policy to ensure the implementation of the outcome of any negotiated settlement with Cameroon. And the Swiss government has not played that role. We are aware of Switzerland's politics in terms of negotiations. We are aware of the role it played in the conflict in Syria. We are aware of the role it has been playing in the conflict in the Central African Republic. As evidence has come out today, we also know nationalists from within Cameroon, like Felix Mumi, was murdered in Switzerland. Switzerland is the country where Mr. Biya has banked all the ill-gotten wealth that it has amassed through exploitation and extortion in Ambazonia. And Switzerland, though it has leverage over Cameroon, has not used that leverage to force Cameroon to commit to the process. Switzerland has used HD to play dirty politics as far as a war of independence is concerned, facilitating the unilateral declaration of ceasefire, knowing Cameroon is the state that has penetrated behind our lines and committed acts of genocide, massacre on our people. As far as we're concerned, the Swiss role is unacceptable and must come to an end. We will be putting out a concrete statement on this, and we want to assure our people that we take our time, do our due diligence, do comparative studies to know what is best for Ambazonia, and we will articulate that in a concrete, precise manner within the realms of international law best practices. Any system put in place where the process does not reflect an outcome consistent with the aspirations of the Ambazonian people will be rejected by the Ambazonian Governing Council under my leadership. As I have said in the past days, the Ambazonian Governing Council has the power to negotiate the end of Cameroon's tyranny within our country all alone. We have the force to back that negotiation. We have the political wisdom and institution to oversee such a process. We believe in a multilateral process, not only within the context of the constitution of the international system, but within the framework of the Ambazonian struggle. That if the defense groups are brought together within one block, groups of experts brought together within one block, our bloggers who've done a wonderful job in articulating our cause brought within one block, and political leaders brought within one block, we will build a formidable front that will bat for Ambazonia and get the results that our people deserve in terminating Cameroon's presence within our homeland. My fellow countrymen and women, we are at war. I remind you of this stark reality because our brave men and women are fighting on a daily basis. In the past 24 hours, we have extracted our special forces that were inserted in Littoral for an operation. The operation didn't go as planned, but our forces are all back in safety. In the past weeks, Our forces within the great state of Mezam have been battling Cameroon street by street, block by block, and our special operations forces have been extracting collaborators working with Cameroon and putting pressure to bear on all those who want to exercise political power over our homeland. We have had setbacks. I told you before, I will be honest with you all through this war of independence. I will revise my postulation that Cameroon is absolutely defeated. We are now in a position of stalemate. Ambazonians, we are in a situation of stalemate. I call on all of you to take this seriously. Recommit, rededicate your effort to the liberation of homeland. Ignore the politics, ignore the rancor, focus on the defense of the independence that was restored and proclaimed. That is the solemn obligation of this generation. We will not bequeath to the next a land littered with hopelessness. We will bequeath to the next generation a free homeland that has, beyond its own bounds, the opportunity to provide for our people hope under a new political dispensation. Call on all of you across the territory, across the diaspora, to support our forces, to support the Ambazonian Defense Forces, which is well constituted, well directed, that has shown how formidable it can be in the defense of our homeland and the protection of our people and the projection of force. If you missed it, it showed that on the 1st of October 2019. And as we draw close to the 1st of October 2020, we should be in a better position to demonstrate power, to demonstrate to the international system we can stand our grounds and that we can ultimately defeat and vanquish Cameroon over our country. I thank the bravery of our forces on the ground who've battled Cameroon on a daily basis on rooftops, in the trenches, on the streets of our homeland. I want to thank all of you who have committed to the takeover program. It will ensure continuous supply of bullets and other essential materials to our fighters. Your commitment will translate into victory. Your continuous commitment on a daily basis to the supply of our forces will translate in the protection of the lives of our people, in the protection of our territorial integrity, and to restore hope and dignity and pride to the Ambazonian people. Ambazonia remains the land of your birth. That's the only space you own on planet Earth. You will decide the kind of political system that will exist in that country. You will decide the kind of economic system that will provide opportunities and prosperity to our people. You will decide the kind of social system that will take care of the weak, the crippled, and all those who can do it on their own. You will institute a kind of educational system that will turn our people to be an asset to themselves, their homeland, and to people beyond our shores. It's the reason for which General Ivo laid his life. It's the reason for which General Migo and all the fighters who have died gave up their lives. It's the reason for which our people continuously, undeterred, still being deprived of their liberty, have remained firm and committed. Freedom isn't cheap. It may cost your life. It may cost this generation. But there is something the next generation will remember. That we stood up for a universal currency. An ideal that cuts across our own culture and our system. The ideal to be free in the land of your birth. To decide the kind of system that will govern you. My fellow people, prefer to be defeated by Chad, not Cameroon. Not the country that we provided them political asylum. Not the country that our bounties have given them 60% of their GDP. Not a corrupt, ineffective state. not Cameroon. We shall stand our ground, disgrace Cameroon and its tyranny within our homeland, bring in freedom to our people. No matter how difficult the times are, no matter how hard and dark the trenches might look, you must remember the beauty of freedom as enjoyed by the people of the United States, all other countries across the globe, was not ushered on a platter of gold. It was won by struggle, endurance, perseverance. You have those qualities, Amazonians, to take over your country. I ask you to remain committed, remain defiant, refuse to blink, refuse to yield even in the face of butchery and massacre. Amazonia is your homeland. It will remain for this generation. It will be bequeathed to the next generation. God bless you all. God bless our forces. God bless our people.